Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. We have Miles here joining us today. Man, I am stoked to be talking about this. We are going to talk about
Me
Mavia,
too.
the global launch, the TGE. So much is happening right now. It has been insane. I mean, let's talk about the global launch first because that was
That
amazingly
was
successful.
actually something else. So global launch of Mavia happened, and we were expecting some pretty decent numbers, people downloading the game. But we actually reached 1 million downloads within 36 hours of the game launching. And that was, the first 12 hours, I would say, was really just Apple users because Google didn't really launch it properly until about 12 hours after the time that they said that they were going to launch. So it was just, we broke the internet. We basically broke the internet.
Yeah. And then, I mean, hitting the million, like I remember they were saying they were planning on 1.5 million downloads by the first month. And it was like that
Yeah,
just got destroyed, you know?
just shattered in 36 hours.
I mean, who knew when you make a game that's fun and App Store compliant and release it globally, you're going to get a lot of downloads, right?
I was honestly surprised to find that a lot of my friends who are not crypto people and who do not play Web3 games are like, hey, I found this game on the App Store and it's actually pretty fun. So I'm playing it, even though it has the word crypto somewhere on it. And I'm like,
That's
that
what's
is
been nice to
awesome.
hear from me too. Like other people reaching out, like, hey, I remember you talking about this before. Is this the game? And it's like they're showing me screenshots of their base at like HQ3 or HQ4, and they're already like head deep into it. And they're like, what's this Ruby thing?
It's like, well, let me tell you, brother. And then we have our whole Ruby model medium that we show them and everything like that.
Right. And then they hit number one in the Google Free App Store in China and then number one in Nigeria. And then it's just started tearing on all the top charts around the globe. I mean, watching Discord was insane. Like, even though they turned
Oh,
on the slow
man.
mode, those moderators in there, man, were just like props to them. Like, because
There
here's the
was
thing when mass
so many
adoption,
people.
yeah, and it's all these Web 2 people like, how does this work? How does this work? You know what I mean? And like, this is what mass
Yeah.
adoption actually looks like, and we got to kind of experience that. Like, we've been involved in Mavia for over 2 years. We've kind of seen the vision from the beginning, but I don't think any of us could have really expected just how quickly all of this was going to transpire. Like, of course, we all hoped and dreamed and placed our bets, but not like this rate. Even I thought I was being conservative, thinking, yeah, the 1.5 million would be a month. That's a good target. Like, nope.
No, I mean, because no other game has really ever performed this well. Even
Yep.
even for like Web 2 games, this is quite a milestone. Like that, most Web 2 games that don't perform this well. So to see a Web 3 game perform this well is unprecedented in the market right now.
It really is. And to think like they were talking about it too, they're saying like they feel like the game's at like a 2 out of 10 as far as like where they want it to be right now,
Well,
like
and I fully
20%.
believe that because for the last 2 years, we've been participating in their Discord and watching them release sneak peeks about this and sneak peeks about that. And in those sneak peeks, you get to see a lot of stuff that they're planning, like traps and like other heroes and other
Yep.
units that we haven't gotten a chance to really see or use yet. And my favorite thing about that fact is that like 80% of the people who are playing this game right now have not seen any of that because they're
That's
only
right.
part of the system within the last like 3 to 4 weeks. So if they go and suddenly just take a look at the sneak peeks section and see that there's things like helicopters and like the hero versions of the other units, they're gonna absolutely break their minds.
Yeah, and something else that really blew me away, like we've been preparing Bog, the Alliance for pretty much the whole 2 years. And, I thought we had a pretty good structure and foundation in place. Like we were as prepared as we could be. We got over 10,000 applications in game in the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Even I wasn't expecting that. Like I remember we had to sit there and just tap the decline button for hours to try to get
To
all
make
the
sure that there
requests.
wasn't enough requests. Because if there was a certain point where some of our devices had received so many requests that we just simply couldn't look at the list anymore without it crashing our device. So we had to then just like sort of find a way around that or get somebody's device on it that wouldn't crash and then just hit the decline button, please.
Yeah, for hours.
Just save our device from being destroyed. And then, most of these people, because in our guild, it's our guild has this requirement, that, well, it's kind of a soft requirement to have people inside our Discord so that they can be part of the conversation and know where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to be doing. And a lot of the applications that we got, I would say probably 70% of the applications that we got were all organic from inside the game. And so that means that those people were not already a part of our ecosystem. So we were obviously prioritizing the people who were part of our ecosystem while we were forming our first, 19, 20, maybe 22 alliances that we have now.
Yeah, we're up to like 30 now. It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
Which is just amazing to see. And like we're recruiting from both sides, right? Like people are coming in on our Discord. They're also coming in from in-game. But what we've been creating content for Mavia for 2 years. And what's been really amazing for me to see personally is like going back and looking at some of the metrics of videos that I posted like years ago, and they're just blowing up right now because like people want to learn, right? So they're like, oh, here's a Mavia playlist. I'm going to go through all these videos, and like basically that's what's happening right now. So it's amazing to be a part of this, and also to have spent the last 2 years building up to this point. Like I remember doing Mavia Elite every month where we were making all of like the art and memes and music, songs that you were doing and the videos and the skits.
Oh, those were such a good time.
Right? It really was. And then TGE happened, right? So we had like 6 days of global. Everyone's kind of getting their bases sorted. I've got 4 tablets. Actually, it was pretty funny. They featured my video that my daughter took of me on the 4 tablets on Crypto Banter. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
That actually blew up. She feels like a celebrity right now. She's like, oh my God, I got 13,000 views.
Yeah. It's great. And then the token launches. And that was really, really amazing because for people in North America, and especially in Canada, it was like crypto.com was kind of the only option. And actually crypto.com didn't launch the same time as the other sexes. Now it's a good thing though. And here's why. So in US crypto.com exchange, there's like the website exchange you can go to. That's where you can do limit orders. But on the app, you can't. It's market orders. And if you try to do a market order, at the moment a token launches, you're going to end up buying it $10, $15, $20, $40 by accident. So I think crypto.com does that on purpose. So it prevents people from accidentally buying at that huge candle and wick that happens in the very beginning. Like I watched it in KuCoin. Right. It went up to $14, right? It was just like, all right. And then it comes back down and corrects it. But I think there was something like $150,000 of volume at the $14. So it was like crap, So kind of in retrospect, people were like, "Oh, let me buy the token. I'm in Canada. I can't do anything."
Amazing to me. It was a good thing. Early that morning, I was getting excited. I was like, maybe I'll be able to buy some of this token, but of course, it didn't work out for me because I was only able to access my crypto.com account at the time. But I did get a chance to take a look at the graph for Bybit, and Bybit's graph was showing a wake at like $40 USD.
Yeah.
And my heart just about skipped a beat when I saw, oh my God, the amount of volatility, the amount of buy pressure that there must have been at that particular moment must have just been insane for Bybit to register.
And it was interesting too, watching some of the sell orders. You can kind of see they were in the increments of some of the airdrops, and I could only think of how many people right now are just kicking themselves for selling, because it was like, oh, I'm seeing these are from people who were claiming the airdrops for the land because it was in increments of like what the rewards were. And you could just kind of see that coming through. And it's like, yep, nope. But I mean, teach their own. We don't know their situation, and there's nothing wrong with taking profits. That's everyone's choice. They're free to do that. But I guarantee they're looking at it now. I mean, as of the moment we're recording this, and I'm sure the price is going to be different by the time this video goes up, but we're like $6.15. And I mean, it hit $6 at the beginning of us like sitting down to start to record this. And then I refreshed the page and it was already at $6.50. You know what? I'm going to check again because I just feel like there's so much freaking movement going on right now.
And while you're doing that, I just want to
626 already.
626? That's only been
626 already.
This video's like 15 minutes. I wanted to mention
at 184 million market cap now.
I said the NFTs actually took a pretty big drop in the time, and I feel like once the functionality of those NFTs is a bit more apparent and fleshed out for the users who were holding them, that's going to make a correction back up also, because the value just to follow the value of the token. And I think people don't really realize what it is that they bought and flipped, because a lot of people did buy and flip Mavia NFTs. I don't think they realize exactly what they've done.
They don't really know. And actually, they just updated. It's worth mentioning this. They just updated the soft staking season 5. So they said the next season is going to start on the 16th, and they're going to announce what the rewards are the day of the soft staking, and they're not going to say anything prior. And basically, what they're mentioning is, they hope everyone enjoyed the airdrop, but they're kind of only getting started with rewarding the landowners and the holders. And like, so right away, we kind of know now, okay, we've got till the 16th. And I think this is good because, with the airdrop, the sell pressure is already kind of lowering. You've got those kind of flippers getting flushed out right now. People have already moved on. You're right. The floor price hasn't moved so much with the lands. It kind of went down after the airdrop snapshot, but I actually think this is really good for the project. And here's why.
Me too.
Gamers, we've got people from Web 2 who are like, what's this land? Like, how does this work? They feel like they can actually get in right now. Like they've got a chance of being able to afford it. And what we do is we want these lands in the hands of people who are real gamers who are going to use it, because then the sell pressure just goes way down, because it's people who are actually having the land to use it, not just hold it or try to get an airdrop or try to flip it. So like how much of the supply is even going to be available on the secondary market as we continue here in the next couple weeks and months. And now the lands are in the people that are really, my opinion, the best people to be holding it. So I think this is perfect. It's the focus is kind of on the token. The lands are at a decent entry, and in my opinion, probably the last entry people are going to be able to get at this for a very, very long time. So like if you are, not financial advice, but if you haven't picked up a land yet, might want to take another look, because and also the rares are a little undervalued, I feel. It's
well, in my opinion, the entire asset is undervalued, honestly. I think they're quite a bit undervalued considering the value of the token right now, that value of the token being more representative, I think, of the people's interests than the NFTs, simply because there were so many like airdroppers and flippers that have gotten their airdrops and flipped them. And we know that because we watched that action literally happen in their Discord. We were literally watching a gajillion people going all angry about like, where can I get my tokens? When can I get my tokens? And then as soon as the airdrop happened, the snapshot was taken, etc., they just disappeared.
Yeah, they left. It was interesting kind of watching that wave come in, and like angry futters who you've never seen in the community for 2 years. And then they get their token and they're gone. It was like, what just happened?
Well, and they brought down the value of a land sort of with them. But the interest in the actual project has not gone down, which means, in my opinion, I think that the lands are actually an undervalued asset.
And that's why I think this was really good long-term for the project. It kind of is allowing better entry points for the real people who we want to be holding them.
Right.
And that's exactly what we want. And then, of course, as soon as this, the 16th comes and the staking rewards get announced, the assets are going to appreciate. And then when they announce how the Ruby earnings work and the land integration, which we know is coming in 4 to 5 weeks, I feel like the team just really understands. They know all of these things and announcements and how it's going to impact price and what it's going to do. And they're just being super strategic about it. And that's what I love, because it feels like a lot of other projects just throw something out there and wait and see what happens. I feel like Mavia has the foresight to know, how it's going to impact land, how it's going to impact their token. Like, man, these guys are just so smart.
Who watches the Bitcoin chart, pretty closely and likes to make my inferences, much like a lot of other people, you know what I mean? And it's clear to me that the team is not unaware of the price action of Bitcoin and timing the market when they're trying to make big moves. It's clear to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say, oh, that's actually like a sleazy move or whatever. It's like, no. If you can, watch the market do a boom and bust cycle and sort of, see this recurring theme, then like, it's not a bad idea for you to time your business moves for the time that things are going to be more profitable. It's an election this year. We have that thing happening where we're sort of nearing the next bull run, or we're in the next bull run, and that's a good time for them to be making all their moves. The bear market time, the 2 years that we've just been through, is a good time for them to be making preparations. And it's clear to me that they were watching the chart the whole time.
Yeah, same here. Oh, and they also updated all the art on the lands, and I am absolutely in love. Like, they're all amazing, but the legendary now is just like on a whole new freaking level.
I'm excited to be able to like have people attack my base and be intimidated by the difference of it and your average base. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, this guy's got a land. Like this is something I have to pay attention to.
Right. And dude, it's just super exciting for all of us. You know, we've spent so long building, you know, seeing the successful launch, more than a success. I mean, this game is revolutionizing gaming as we know it, not just Web 2 or Web 3. You know, with everything they're doing, this is only the beginning. And then to have the token generation event go so well, and I mean, everybody's talking about it right now.
They're
You know,
calling it a
it's
Blizzard
just
launch. You know how Blizzard does
yes.
launch something, they get way too much traffic, so everything explodes. And like, come on, Blizzard, you can handle it. And it's like, bro, there's 3 bajillion of you. Like, could you just give us a second? You know what I mean? Like, when updates? When? It was literally like that, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, we're just getting started. So, you know, we're gonna have to come on and talk about this more as things transpire. You know, I've got a couple other content creators who are starting to jump into Mavia who, you know, have
Let's
been
go.
talking to me a lot about stuff too, and they want to get on coffee and crypto. So we'll definitely be having them in. And it's really amazing to see, you know, just our Discord and the community we've built and how fast it's grown in the last little while. So, you know, if you're watching this, you haven't come checked us out, definitely jump into our Discord. That's where all the action is happening right
That's
now.
what
We
we
have
are.
thousands of people in the Bog Alliance, content creators sharing their content. We're talking about mission strategies, how to do
Oh
this,
man,
fastest way to
Jesus
level.
Martinez leaves his base open for a few minutes. I smashed him, and then I can add him in Discord and be like, I smashed you. Here's how. You know what I mean? And now he's ahead of me, so I got some work to do.
That's
Yeah.
right. You know what I feel? I got the 4 bases. I feel like I'm just doing so much other work. I got to catch up. I'm only HQ5 on all of them. You know, I see people like, oh, I'm 7 now. And it's like, damn you, you know,
Yeah,
but
sniffles, sniffles. Are your walls maxed?
right. Well, thanks so much for jumping on to chat about this, man. I'm so stoked about it. It's just amazing to finally be here and experience all of this. And yeah, we appreciate everyone who's tuned in. I'm sure you guys, especially everyone involved in Mavia, are just as excited as we are. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, don't miss this out. So thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you all guys in the next episode and take care. Cheers.